Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about a romance drama called Teddy Bear from 2012. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. A huge and shy athlete travels to Thailand in search of the girl of his dreams, despite his mother's prohibition. The movie begins with the main character, a huge bodybuilder Dennis, looking in the mirror. After leaving the restroom of a restaurant, he returns to the table where a girl is waiting for him. She asks him why he doesn't eat shrimp and finds out that Dennis is allergic to shrimp. Confused, he can't explain why he ordered shrimp. During the conversation, it turns out that the girl owns a beauty salon, and the guy is a professional bodybuilder. That is, he is involved in sports. But since they don't earn any money from competitions, Dennis works as a security guard in a pub. After this confession, the girl's interest in him drops sharply. She accuses the interlocutor of shamelessly staring at her breasts, even though the hero is looking at the pendant. Later, sitting in the car, Dennis shakes his head in disappointment because the date ended in nothing. He returns home, sneaking carefully in the dark so as not to wake his mother. But she doesn't sleep. She sits in the kitchen waiting for her son to return. The woman interrogates him, and he lies that he went to the movies with a friend. Dennis goes to bed, but the mother urgently needs to release her passive aggression under the guise of care. However, he manages to stop the scandal. In the morning, while he's taking a shower, his mother walks into the bathroom without hesitation and sits on the toilet, clearly demonstrating her attitude towards his opinion and personal life. After breakfast, the hero is going to meet his relatives. Sitting in the car, his mother asks him if he has locked the door. Under her pressure, the boy turns to check. The family dinner is dedicated to meeting the wife of Dennis' uncle. He brought her back from Thailand. Dennis watches the couple with a slight smile and white envy, and his mother wrinkles her nose in displeasure. She doesn't like the couple or the reaction of her son, who helps fulfill an old tradition, cutting off a sock for a newlywed husband. In the evening, while brushing her teeth, the mother does not forget to hint to Dennis that his brother's happy appearance is temporary. The hero goes to the gym to train, but while the blood is coursing through his veins, different thoughts creep into his head. He thinks about the girl from his recent date who walks by him. She doesn't even respond to Dennis's greeting. Dennis visits his uncle to help him. Later, the relative pays for the service. Dennis is going to travel to Thailand, so he starts preparing for the trip. At home, he Googles information about hotels where he can stay. Once he has made his choice, he approaches the girl who rejected him at the gym to tell her that she is not his type. She, of course, takes his words with a certain amount of irony. Inspired, Dennis spins around with his partner in front of the mirror, practicing poses. At home, he tells his mother that he is going to Germany, allegedly for a competition. She doesn't like this turn of events and defiantly refuses to eat dinner. In the morning, when her son has prepared breakfast, the mother does not even want to leave the bedroom. However, Dennis's determination to leave is not affected by her behavior. After packing his things, he goes to say goodbye, but she wraps herself in a blanket and does not want to come out. Throwing on his jacket, the hero leaves his home and sets off to meet his adventures. Soon he is traveling in a taxi through Thailand. Southeast Asia, after the harsh Scandinavian climate of his native Denmark, seems to him like real magic, not to mention the uninhibited local girls. When checking into a hotel, the concierge asks if he will bring someone to the room, because then he will have to pay extra. But Dennis refuses, just in case. He needs to find a girl first, even if there are contraceptives on the room's table, carefully provided by the hotel. After checking into the hotel, the hero looks out from the balcony at an exotic country full of prospects and opportunities for tourists. Then he goes to a local eatery to visit a guy named Scott, whom his uncle sent him to. It was Scott who introduced the guest to his new wife, and now he can help Dennis. After finding out his preferences, the shopkeeper asks him to come back in the evening, and he will find him a girl. On the way home, the taxi driver suggests stopping by a tailor. There, the huge tourist is being measured from all sides to prepare a jacket for the evening. The clever tailor immediately offers to buy 2 at once at a discount, and when Dennis refuses, he overcharges the tourist by 1,000 baht, cheating him out of habit. From the hotel, he calls home to tell his mother about his arrival, but she doesn't pick up the phone, so he has to leave a message. Having received the suit, the hero washes his face and tries on the new thing in front of the mirror, putting it on over his shorts. He goes to the meeting, fending off the sociable girls who are not averse to making money off tourists. At the diner, he is greeted by the owner and his guests. Dennis notices that the place is full of foreigners being courted by local girls. Soon one of them approaches him. The girl confidently and professionally takes matters into her own hands, talking to the shy hero and admiring his developed muscles. The girl asks to see his muscles, which makes the guy blush and go to the restroom. However, even there, the uninhibited Thai girl does not leave Dennis. She follows him to look at him and help him wipe interesting places with a towel, which embarrasses him even more. Nevertheless, the two of them return to the hotel, where the guest is greeted by a happy concierge, reminding him of the additional fee. In the room itself, the hero nervously walks around the room while the guest takes a shower. Coming out in a towel, the girl announces the price, which surprises the big, simple-minded good guy. Nevertheless, he agrees to pay, but when the girl is ready to get down to business, Dennis suggests talking to get to know each other better. In the end, his shyness gets the better of him, and he persistently asks the girl to leave without ever getting down to business. When the disappointed guest changed her clothes, the client paid and was left sitting alone calling his mother. In the morning, he goes to the gym, where local people are training, looking thin against his background. He asks one of the athletes to show him where the barbell is. While Dennis is getting ready, the Thai athlete recognizes him and shows him an album with newspaper clippings on a trophy stand, with Dennis himself among the others. The fan introduces the guest to the owner of the gym, a girl named Toy, and the athletes train together, looking out for each other. Along the way, Dennis teaches the Thai some bodybuilding techniques that are important in competitions. After training, the new friend invites Dennis to have dinner with his friends, but the boy has his own plans. He goes back to Scott's diner, where he meets a new girl, and everything goes in a circle. Same questions, same answers. The evening is brightened up by a performance by a local singer who makes the guests wave their hands in time to her singing. Looking around, Dennis makes up an excuse to leave. On the way, he is surrounded by other girls who want to make some extra money, but he wants to be alone. He goes to a restaurant at an address given to him by a gym buddy. Dennis feels more comfortable among athletes who share his hobby. He is not even embarrassed by the presence of the girl who owns the gym. When she asks him where he is from, Dennis tells her in more detail. She explains that the gym belonged to her husband until she was widowed a few years ago. Dennis tells her that he hasn't married because he hasn't found the right one yet, and she assures him that it's all ahead of him. After dinner, the athletes ride off on their mopeds, leaving Toy and Dennis alone. They return by public transportation, and on the way, a woman asks him if he knows how to ride a moped. The next morning, the two of them go for a walk and admire the Thai sights and local cuisine, not forgetting to stop by a temple and bring offerings to the priests. The motorcycle rally ends at the beach, where Dennis admires Toy, who comes out of the water with a wet t-shirt stuck to her body. When she suggests having a picnic there, the hero reaches out to kiss her, but the girl pulls away in fright. Upset, he leaves, but cannot start his moped in the parking lot. The one who returned offers to leave the car until tomorrow and return on her moped, which they do. When they say goodbye at the hotel, he tells him that in Thailand it is not customary to kiss in the street, and then invites him to dinner at his home. When they get there, they start kissing instead of eating. But even so, Dennis is still afraid, and the girl has to be persistent. At the last moment, the hero's nerves give out and he leaves, apologizing. Outside, he stops in thought in the middle of the night street. Then he returns and knocks on the door. In an awkward silence, the two of them sit on the bed until Dennis confesses that he really likes the landlady, and then asks permission to stay the night. Despite the consent, they sleep in an embrace and with their clothes on. In the next scene, Dennis rides in a taxi through the streets of his hometown. He returns home with his suitcases and meets his mother. They drink tea, and she asks him how the competition went. The son lies and says that he took 6th place, which explains the lack of trophies, but not the satisfied smile. The mother's penetrating gaze does not escape the fresh tan, which she attributes to the solarium. However, Dennis brought back something from the trip besides his tan and jacket, a photo of Toya. Soon after, Dennis visits the new apartment with the realtor. In the evening, unable to sleep because of the thoughts that overwhelmed him, he goes to his mother to talk to her. It's an urgent matter. With a heavy heart, Dennis admits that instead of going to Germany, he, inspired by his uncle's example, went to Thailand in the hope of finding a girl there. He says he met the one, but his mother was offended and asked him to leave. In the morning, he goes down to the kitchen and sees his mother sitting at the table having a difficult conversation. The woman asks about the girl who is trying to take her favorite son away from her, but Dennis is not really ready to talk about his personal life. Then she starts accusing him, saying that if he is lying to his mother, he probably doesn't love her anymore. His mother tells him that she does not approve of his relationship and demands that he break it off immediately. Accustomed to resisting physical but not psychological pressure, Dennis promises to do so. But then he meets Toya at the airport with a joyful smile and a bouquet of flowers. He brings her to the apartment he bought and furnished in secret from his mother, so that his girlfriend would not see it. There, he gives her a pendant before giving her the bad news. His mother has had a heart attack, so he has to take care of her while Toya gets settled in her new apartment. But even this turns out to be a lie. His mother is fine. In the evening, Dennis returns to her. The next day, the hero and Toya are wandering around the mall, but he notices his mother wandering nearby. He quickly turns to a nearby boutique to hide. However, he is unsuccessful. The mother sees her son in the lingerie store with a girl. Dennis bravely lies, pretending that his girlfriend is the sister of his uncle's wife. But even without his participation, the conversation slides smoothly toward the truth. The girl asks about the health of her potential mother-in-law. Dennis can't think of anything better than to run away with the girl to the sound of his mother's angry screams. Sitting in the car, Dennis is deep in thought. He drops the girl off and goes home to deal with everything. The mother is sitting in the kitchen clutching a bloody towel because she injured herself when she smashed up her son's room and his award stand. Seeing this barbarism, Dennis sits down on the bed exhausted. A lonely, stingy tear rolls down his stern face. Sitting at the table, when his mother asks him about Toya, he finally decides to answer. "This is my life." His mother accuses him, comparing him to his father. Dennis warns her that the girl is staying in the country while he is leaving. Then the woman resorts to manipulation through pity and sheds a tear. After carefully bandaging his mother's cuts, Dennis puts the hard-won trophies in boxes. Glancing around the room, which looks almost like solitary confinement in a psychological prison, Dennis loads his belongings into the trunk. His girlfriend is waiting for him in the car. After hugging his mother goodbye, Dennis ignores his mother's request to stay with her and leaves for his new, happy life. The car, loaded with his belongings, drives away and takes Dennis and Toya to their own apartment. The camera rises above the road, leaving the characters alone with their happiness. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.